Hello. Today I'm welcomed by the team over at ROC Technologies. We have Chelsea and David. Chelsea, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, hi, I'm Chelsea Chamberlain. I'm ROC's Managing Director for Transformation Services. So that part of our business primarily looks after all of our project and programme delivery, as well as operational delivery, focusing on networking and digital transformations.
Amazing, thank you so much. And David, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm David Gearing. I work for Chelsea and I look after the network practice. So I'm responsible for developing our strategy with networks and how we apply that to customers.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today here in the studio. So we're going to hear a little bit about your organisation. For the audience that have no idea who ROC Technologies are, tell me a little bit about what you are as an organisation and what you do.
So ROC is a managed service provider. We've been around for just over 10 years. We have a wide customer base, so stretching from retail customers all the way through kind of private sector, legal, pharma companies, into public services, local government, defence and higher education. So within the part of the business that I look after, we have 200 active customers who we obviously look after in terms of managed services and project delivery, but we also do have a part of our business which is looking after infrastructure and cabling services as well.
That's really extensive, and I've heard a lot about all those different industries, and we've obviously worked with you on a lot of those projects into those customers. David, probably one more for yourself. Tell us and the audience what you deliver when you deliver a managed service into your customers.
Yes, we have a managed service team who look after the network for our customers, and they're responsible for proactively monitoring, ensuring that they respond to all the incidents, fixing the kit when anything fails, and generally making sure the network is as the customer requires.
Thanks, David. So we've heard a little bit about ROC Technologies. We've heard a little bit about some of your customers that you have, Chelsea. Today we're here to talk in more detail about a particular sector, that being defence. If you could tell us and our audience a little bit more about why you have such great credentials in that space.
Sure. So ROC organically and deliberately has kind of got a bit of a niche in terms of secure and highly governed environments. So I spoke a little bit about how we work in the public services space. So in addition to the defence industry, we also have quite a big footprint within the nuclear industry and blue light services and government as well. So it's really that kind of highly governed sector that we're trying to build a bit of a story around, and something that's really important to us and really important to our strategy.
Amazing. David, can you expand on the technologies that those types of organisations would typically come and ask you to help and support them with?
Yeah, sure. And obviously, secure customers are very security focused, and ensuring the correct level of access into the network is important. And we adopt Aruba's zero trust and 360 security architecture to ensure that the correct devices and users are accessing the network. They only access what they need to access, and that we can maintain the security of the network and respond when something happens. So quarantining or dropping devices and making sure that the network is secure at all times.
Yeah, and you mentioned a particular vendor there. Obviously, I've worked with you on a lot of those projects with Aruba. Has Aruba been a conscious decision within your organisation to work in that space?
Yes, definitely. I mean, some of the products that they have, with the wired and wireless platform and Aruba ClearPass really feeds into that sort of architecture that those customers are looking for. Yeah. And we've got, long experience being an Aruba partner. So utilising those products where they have credentials in that environment makes sense.
David, you touched there on Aruba and Zero Trust and that 360 architecture. Maybe one yourself, Chelsea, around how do you, in a secure environment, how do you keep your customers apace with the change of what's new? It's obviously security is at the forefront of everything they think about. How do you as ROC Technology expand on that?
It's a really interesting question, because obviously within secure industries, they are driven not only by wanting to stay ahead of technology and continue to innovate, but also maintaining that really highly secure posture, and sometimes I think there is a balance to be had there. So what's really great about working with Aruba and that technology stack is the fact that you can continue to develop your technologies, whether you choose to stay on premise or whether you choose to kind of innovate more into the cloud. So the offerings around Aruba Central, the offerings around ClearPass and all of the development that's being made there mean that it's easy for us to be able to build a solution that suits our customer, whether they want to move really quickly in terms of innovation and match a cloud strategy, for instance, or whether they want to kind of take their time but make sure that the kit that they already have is staying up to date, and we're able to continue making kind of functional improvements to that.
No, that makes perfect sense. And actually, some of the things that you talk about there about the innovation and moving with that pace of change, if you were engaging with a net new customer, how would you take them on that journey? What's your approach to working with those customers?
So part of our story, specifically in these kind of highly secure industries, is all about referenceability, and your reputation tends to follow you wherever you go. So we'll certainly look for reference points within our existing customer base. One of the things that any new customer can benefit from is learnings that we've had across the industry, what has worked, what hasn't worked, as well as things that have already been developed. So instances where we've already had implementations or solutions approved by governing bodies. So that's something that's really beneficial. So one thing we'd obviously initially looked at would be kind of our vendor portfolio, any new technologies that were coming out, and kind of starting that road mapping journey quite early, finding something that gives them the requirements that they need to hit at from the outset, but also the continual service improvement piece as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you've absolutely got your finger on the pulse there, and you know exactly what is kind of coming as a roadmap. I think realistically, for any of our audience that are watching, I feel like you guys are really going to be a safe pair of hands for them. You absolutely know what you're doing when it comes to this sector. You've got great referenceability. We know that we've worked with you on a lot of projects in this space, and absolutely know how to work with those industries. So I think anybody that's listening in the audience should really get in contact, and you guys are definitely the people to work with.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.